Howdy and Happy Halloween. Today I have a package from Bricklink that's going to contain some pretty funny minifigures. Let's get into it. The Bricklink store I bought this from is located in Ohio, and they're called It's a Good Year, so naturally I'm going to use Ohio in the title. I was actually going to buy a few more Series 14 minifigures for Halloween to complete that off for this I Bought a Minifigure episode, but when I saw some of the funny and I guess cursed minifigures that this store had, I just had to buy a few. If you're new, this is the 9th installment of a series where I buy minifigures or minifigure related merchandise. This is probably one of my most expensive episodes just due to the volume. I don't normally buy, I think there's 23 minifigures in this, and some of these were really good deals. I think I ended up spending around $130 on all of this. If you guys are as big of fans of Leg Bros as I am, this is completely different. I'm buying these for my own personal collection, and these are minifigures that I do not already have. I do respect the work that he does, and I think Legos can be a great investment, but this is purely just for collection purposes in my life. This purchase started off just because I thought one of these minifigures was goofy as hell, and then I looked through his inventory and I was like, wow, some of these guys have really unique faces that you never see on any minifigure just because they're so goofy. And naturally, as I'm sure you know, when you scroll through Bricklink, you just add stuff to your cart and it just totals up over time. And now that I'm making YouTube videos, it's just in the back of my head, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna make the funniest video. As a side note to that, this Karl Malone on the left is making me think I should make a video about Lego minifigures who have actually committed crimes. I think that could be a fun video that people might want to watch. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's even feasible because most of them would be 2003 basketball players or like Jerry Seinfeld, for example. You can see where that might be questionable or maybe not very nice to write about. Anyways, before we get back into the video, I just want to ask you guys to subscribe if you enjoy the content, you know? YouTube is telling me something like 97% of people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. You know, if you want to share the video with some friends who might enjoy it, that would be super cool too. Speaking of super cool, a lot of these minifigures are actually amazing, but I'm still gonna call them cursed. I think they are cursed. They have terrible, terrible face prints, and I think that's really funny. I'm trying not to ruin the audio with just a bunch of laughing, because that wouldn't be very interesting. Look at this guy. Why is his hair like that? I just don't understand some of these. They're terrible choices by the Lego group in my opinion. Let's go ahead and speed this up. As much as I'd love to have a 10-minute video for the algorithm, I know you guys can't stand my voice just as much as I can't. So I'm gonna shut up and let you enjoy the music. First up, we got the microfigure pirate, and he's got toes. That's a little bit weird for a minifigure. I think just the combination of being a microfigure and having toes makes him a cursed minifigure. Next up, we have Peeves from Harry Potter, and aside from the goofy name, he's got really bad printing, and this is what started this whole thing. I love this minifigure. Next up, we have SpongeBob with the shocked look. I just bought this for the thumbnail. I thought it would look really funny with all of these cursed minifigures, just shocked in front. Next up we have Lobot, who is a Star Wars figure, but he has a yellow head. That's pretty normal, it's vintage. But I don't know who Lobot is, and his minifigure looks really weird. Next up we have the NBA players, and if you guys don't know, the NBA players came out in 2003, and Lego was trying to do this semi-realistic kind of interpretation, but they hadn't really done anything besides yellow minifigures. So what came out is weird, cursed, I don't know. Here we have this soccer player who's just got the stupidest haircut ever, and I don't know why LEGO would even put this out. It looks so dumb. Next up we have Karl Malone, who's an NBA legend and actually went to my school. If you guys want to know more about Louisiana Tech University, look up Karl Malone 13. Continuing with the NBA, we just have terrible, terrible face designs for all of these minifigures. All of these minifigures have printed hair, which looks terrible on most of them. Their arms are also longer than a normal minifigures, and their hands aren't posable like a normal minifigure. It just adds to the more cursed part of it. This is going to be nostalgic for some of you, but for those of you that don't know, the younger audience, they have springs in their legs because you pull back on their head and they can throw a ball into a hoop. It's a very interesting aspect of LEGO NBA, but they don't make them anymore. This guy with sideburns is going to wrap up the NBA, and honestly, he's probably the worst offender. I mean, just look at that smile. So creepy. Next up we have Snake Oiler from Speed Racer, and Speed Racer has some very weird minifigures. They have some weird printing on the torso, but this guy's face is also terrible. Here we have the Indian who came out in 1997 before it was politically correct to call them Native Americans. This minifigure is actually really cool, but the nose makes him so creepy. Then we have Senor Palomar, who came out in 1999 and honestly is a good minifigure aside from his really terrible face print. Then we have Goldtooth, who is from the Agents. He's really cool again, but gold hair, gold teeth, it's pretty cursed. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon about the last guy, because what in the hell is this guy's problem? This is the ugliest minifigure ever made. Then we have a recurring character from Alpha Team. It's Flex. He usually has a good face print, but this one is a little bit off. It's really unsettling to me. This one just goes without saying, and what's the worst thing about it is that there's no anti-studs on the bottom. He's just sitting there on the 2x2 plate. And his hair underneath that hat is no better. It's pretty awful. This is something that I'm not even proud to own at this point. This Knights Kingdom character is actually pretty cool. I love the Black Dragon helmet. The printing is nice on the torso, and I actually don't own a lot of Knights or Kingdom stuff, so it's really cool to have him. But there's a little piece of hair on the front of his head that looks god awful, and I'm not sure why they included it in the print.
Huh?
And again, Commander Manta Ray from Aquazone is a great minifigure, like most of these, but he's cursed with the print of his face. What in the hell is that? But to be fair, I've always really wanted this one. He's one of my favorites. And last but not least, we have another knight. This one's from Knights Kingdom 2. And in real life, this one actually looks so much cooler than it did on Bricklink. I'm really glad to have made this purchase. But what in the hell is his face? Just this whole period that LEGO was putting out these faces was such a dark age. I wish they'd go back though. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. It was really fun to make, and I'm really glad with this purchase. If there's something that you want to see in the next episode, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, consider subscribing and liking the video, as that would be really appreciated. See ya.